We're back at it today with some boards from Elecrow. This time I ordered 10. Everything through manufacturing looked good on the approval process. Let's talk about this DHL shipping though. Let's see if we can get this in. You'll see here, February 25th at 5:53 p.m. It was picked up in mainland China. I'm just gonna kind of hold my finger over some of the more pertinent parts. You'll see there, February 27th at 2:54 p.m. delivered. How do they do that? A lot of people I talk to is like, oh, well, Elecrow's already shipped it and DHL has it. They can't ship it until I approve the manufacturing. I approved the manufacturing the day before they shipped it. That's from mainland China to my door. It's amazing. I don't know what to say about that. These are actually the only product I've ever had shipped through DHL. So maybe I start swapping. But I want to showcase how Elecrow or DHL, it does say repacked. I'm not sure who packs this, but either way, I'm for it. So here's how it arrived at my door. One corrugated piece of cardboard. Two corrugated piece of cardboard. And three. There's also a piece on each side lengthwise. And all 10 boards are individually wrapped in their own bubble. They don't sponsor me, but I'm gonna make this a project that you can actually just pretty much order from them. We've got all the knits and bits and all that stuff lined out. One of these I had already opened. Let's pull that one. Try to make it a little bit quicker for the YouTube magic. Gotta add some anti-static. So here is the board. The header is on the right side this time. So phenomenal work. Let's take a look at those displays. The displays arrive in a box that's, there's nothing wrong with it. This is from AliExpress. Placed the order at 9 o'clock at night on March 4th. These arrived at my house March 13th at 9:30 in the morning. So, not quite as fast as DHL. Plenty fast enough for me whenever you hear some of the stuff that gets ordered from AliExpress. And I have it too. I have some stuff that it takes four to 6 weeks. So we've got 20 displays. So every 2 displays make one Pin2DMD board. Some foam. Some more foam. And then all the displays together here. So plenty of data cables. And plenty of power cables that we're going to have to cut down. We will use these, but we will kind of lop them off somewhere in here to solder onto the boards. And then I just kind of use this for other projects. So it's pretty well packaged in here. There's foam in between every 2 displays or so. And then there's foam individually in between the faces of them. So I'm not upset with this type of packaging either. So for what we're doing, this is top-notch work. I'm for it. So here's what's going to happen this time. I'm actually going to be taking, I don't know, probably 4 of these over to a buddy's house, and I'm going to actually teach him how to build these up as well. And then the rest of them, I'm going to do the video where last video we showed what not to do. So this video should be, you order your boards, you order your displays, you solder your power cables on, build it up. So let's get into it. I worked with the manufacturer to correct some of the issues that I caused. And if you watch the other videos, I had it in the files. The header was on the wrong side, so we had to take the header off and install it on the right side. So we've corrected that. So now we got a fully fledged out manufacturing process. You'll see some out for sale now that have this updated to a USB-C. It doesn't give you any more functionality, just gives you a different way of connecting. So for me, it doesn't matter. I've got plenty of these cables. I don't know. So what we'll do now is show you what it's going to be. If you have the manufacturing process figured out, you got your displays, you're really just building. You're not proving out, prototyping like we were in the last videos. So what we're going to do here is just build this up. I've got 7 that I've got to do. I took 3 over to a friend's house, like I said earlier in the video. We did those, and I showed him how to do the software side. Now when you buy the displays, they send you this. So we don't need all that. We're just going to solder these here. So we only really need, you know, yay much or so. And if you want to bring in a display just to sit, right, you can line that up and kind of know you're going to be plugging this power into here, and your solder is going to be away from it, okay? Because we really only need to get one of these figured out. So if you know your solder is going to be over here, let me turn this thing the right way, because it does matter. Because it gives you different room. So you're going to be here on this board, and we'll go ahead and plug it all the way in. Show you. And you're going to be soldering underneath on this side, right? So kind of, you can line out with your finger how much you want, because it's going to be coming out from underneath here, and then you'll be clipping it in. And I always say cut it long, because you can always cut more off. Technically, yes, you can put more on, but just cut it long. So if I like that, I'm just going to go about 1/4 inch longer and try to cut them all the same length. See, I did not cut them all the same length there, but you'll be able to come back. Well, I need to catch those. And so basically now, you can kind of see I've cut it way long. So if I was to be trying to hold that under, and you can test it, right? You can just kind of hold them and see how hard is it going to be to bend them, because that's how you're going to have to put it into that display. So it's probably not a terrible length. And before I go doing anything else on this first one, I'm just going to come in and do the same. I'm going to line it up, cut everything the same way, and then just save this for some other project that you're eventually will get into. let's get these stripped back a bit. I'm trying out this Wecon Tools number 5 wire stripper. I don't know yet if I like it. In this situation, it's faster, beneficial, but in a lot of my situations with pinball, it just isn't. This is more for you get a lot of wires you can do quickly. And I'm not typically doing that scenario. I'm usually having to repin connectors, which means I take one pin out, do it up, put it back in, and it just doesn't quite work the same way. So let's tin these. And then we definitely want to tin our pads as well. And I like to come in with that fiberglass pencil and just clean everything a little bit. That's personal preference. And then just put them in, 2 positive, 2 positive, 2 negative, 2 negative. And back in with the fiberglass brush. I know the camera's shaking. I got it connected to the table right now. With the logo at the bottom, your header is to your left. So your header's right here. It's just on the bottom side. So the back of the displays have arrows. You want the arrows to go away from the header and away from the logo. So across and up. So you'd want this one to mount just like it is here. So let's see if we can get you a view of this header. I like to use this hole and this peg right there. Eyeball line that up and then focus on the header. And you can also kind of, I don't know if I can get the light in there just right. You kind of see the header, they match pretty good. It's not too bad to sit. I like to support this here. And see them kind of going in, but that I want to make sure that hole lines up. So you can kind of see almost. You can almost see it. That hole, that peg is just to the left of that hole. And then here, you can see the pegs right in the hole. I'm not seated, so I just support and I wiggle it down. And then you're seated. And as far as the other one goes, I just want it to be away and up with the arrows. I kind of just lay it and then bring this in and it just lines up. We'll put our screws in, loosening first until it seats. Remember, we're not going to tighten these. See it seated. Just putting these here so they will hold the displays to the board. Seated. And then we'll use gravity and the manufacturing to align everything to make sure that we don't have a seam between these two displays. And these are M3 screws. So I don't know if I covered that last time. I have to do a better job next time and not mount the phone to the table so that it doesn't shake. Okay, so because this one's connected to the header, I like to always just support it, you know, with my other hand. But this one, you can see it's loose. The header is just as loose, but because the other screen, not the header, the other screen is just as loose, but because it's connected to the header, it's not moving. So I want to put this down, header side down, and I'm just going to make sure it's seated. And then I will tighten these bottom ones. And you can kind of see, let's see, there's where the seam is. If I just stick it together, it looks pretty good. But you can see if I push it to one side or the other, that seam is visible. So I'm just going to hold it with my two fingers, kind of line it up slightly. I'm going to tighten the bottom two screws of the higher up display now. And what you're going to find is sometimes it looks pretty good. You can still kind of see a little bit that seam there. So now what I'm going to do is just hold a little tighter with my fingers, and I'm going to tighten the top two of the bottom display. And you'll feel these displays move as you tighten them. So my goal here is to tighten them all the way. And you can look again. I mean, it really does look pretty good. Different angles, you may see a seam. Visually, I can kind of tell it's right here. So now what I do is I loosen the bottom two of the upper. And the reason I tighten them is because it helps me better align this bottom display that sticks out towards this way. Now I've got all this movement. I can better adjust to a fully seated display on the bottom. And what I found is if I do the bottom and then I try to do the top, I can never get the two edges to meet. So tightening the top bottom, the terminology is terrible. So tighten the bottom screws of the top display, and then using some of that movement to help better align it, tighten the bottom, then I can tighten the top screws of the bottom display, then I can re-loosen the bottom screws of the top display, and really line that up so you get absolutely no seam. You can see there's where it's supposed to be. There's no seam. And then don't forget to tighten the top ones. And then your power, you just kind of bend that. Yeah. And you'll hear that click. Especially if you're going to be in a data east, you'll want to flatten those out. And that's it. You have a fully built display. Everything else is software side. So everything else is just going to be an SD card, hooking this thing to a computer, running through the DFU upload so that the software can be loaded to the board. Because the software doesn't run off of the micro SD card. The software runs on the Pin2DMD board itself. And so that's a fully built display. It's ready to go. You just, one other thing with your connector ribbons, you just plop it in. And you can do a rubber band, zip tie. If you want to do a rubber band, do it before you put that in. You can do a little zip tie, whatever suits your boat there. So yeah, when it's no mistakes on my part, it's a lot quicker, a whole lot quicker. So I'm going to build up the other 7 now that we kind of got our links figured out and we know everything else is just going to go fine. We'll get these cut up, tinned, all the boards tinned, and then it just slaps it together. Or it's the other 6 now. So cool.